Welcome to another episode of the State of the Bulldogs. We have Grant and Mike tonight, guys. How we doing?
Good.
Doing all right.
Yeah, we survived the NFL draft.
We did.
Grant, you did. You had a nice little draft. Mike, Titans, are we excited?
Nothing exciting.
Okay.
Nothing
Grant, who are you
exciting.
excited about? I guess Xavier Worthy, maybe?
Yeah, Xavier Worthy, obviously another receiver from Mahomes to throw deep to. So, MVS replacement, if you will.
Hadden?
Yeah, he's
Kamal
really good
was
too.
a dog last year.
Yeah, another corner. Yeah, be sweet.
Another fast guy, but maybe Xavier drops some. I don't know. He's got those Texas hands, not known for being clutch. But guys, let's get to around the horn. First question: NFL draft. Grant, we'll start with you. Biggest winner of the draft.
We just talked about Xavier Worthy's hands. He fit right in with the Chiefs wide receiver room last year. Guys drawing passes everywhere. I still think it's the Bears when you go to it. Obviously, you get Caleb going in, and then you still have a first round pick, and you use that on Romadunes, a top wide receiver. You weren't right behind Harrison. I count like any of those top three receivers you would love to have, and they really need many skill and playmakers on offense. So probably the Bears.
Mike.
Yeah, I was going to say the Bears too. They did the best they could with 5 picks. Not to mention Torrey Taylor, number one punter off the board. Iowa.
Wow.
Iowa's known for their defense. He can pin you back.
That's a Hall of Famer right there. Iowa punter
would get applauses.
Yeah,
it's a Hall of Famer right there.
Hall of Famer right there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be back to the NFL draft when we talk about football. But next question: the Zurich Classic wrapped up this Sunday. Rory McIlroy and blanking on the Shane. I don't know. Shane
Lowry,
the other Irish guy. Thank you.
Yeah, Shane Lowry. Yep.
Shane Lowry won it. It's the closest thing we have to live on the PGA Tour. Do we need more of it, or are we good with the one kind of team play option we've got? Mike, we'll go to you.
Cap it at 2 a season for me. I like the traditional 4-day, Thursday through Sunday. So you might be able to add one more, but keep live, and keep the PGA Tour.
I hear you, Grant.
Yeah, I kind of like the mix of having more team events. Maybe you would have like one, maybe like a bigger substance with the higher purse. Maybe you get more guys involved. You get and obviously you don't have it the last week, or don't have it the week after the Masters too. Some guys might want to play, but still there are a lot of guys. But it would be cool to have multiple team events throughout the year. Like Mike said, maybe 2, maybe 3 max. Yeah.
You know, Grant, the week after the Masters might not be a bad idea. I mean, Scotty rolled right into RBC Heritage, and this is why. Mike,
sorry, 2 weeks after. Yeah, 2 weeks after.
There. Like all the big names are already in the States, so it's like just roll on down.
The Heritage is it's the week after the Masters,
I know it's a thing. I know it's a thing. All right, last question. So Jeb, a member of the podcast, asked, why did we remove, and we as in Samford, last names from the basketball jerseys? Grant, we'll go to you.
I don't know. I hadn't really thought about that. Well, obviously you see it when you're watching the game, but I hadn't really thought about why that would be the case. Maybe I don't really see this, but maybe Bucky's like, we play for the team on the front, not the team on the back. Let's take them off. Like, that could play a part of it, but I don't think he kind of lean into that as much. Well, I guess he kind of could, thinking about it, the way these guys fill into certain roles on this team like they did last year. So I could see that. So,
Mike.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always wondered, is that a coaching decision or an administration decision? I imagine it's coaching. It has to do with what Grant said, playing for the team on the front, not the back. But why can't you play for both? You've worked your whole life, 18 years to get to play D1 basketball. You got your chance, and now you don't get to have your family name on the back. So that's my thought.
Yeah, especially in the age of like personal branding and stuff like that. It would be cool to have your name on the back. I would like it for sure.
Look, for how much we're spending on the basketball program, we got to save pennies somewhere. And if we can reuse some jerseys, maybe that's why. All right, but let's get back to the NFL draft. So 3 guys from Samford signed as undrafted free agents to minicamps, right? They got the invite. We had Michael Hiers, RJ Starkey, Kadir Ismail. Let's start with Hiers. So Hiers coming into the draft. He had some buzz. We talked about the Lance Zierlein tweet But the run of quarterbacks late didn't really happen. I mean, Spencer Rattler lasted till the 6th round, late.
Fifth.
Yeah, so that would have been Hiers' only hope, is if all of a sudden, kind of near the end of that 5th, beginning of the 6th, guys or teams start picking up some of those camp quarterbacks that everybody's going to sign. Didn't happen, right? So he's an undrafted free agent headed to the minicamp. Obviously, the Bucs are not a quarterback-rich team. They're going to be trying out all kinds of arms. They signed Baker to a 3-year extension, 4-year extension. But besides that, there's a lot of unknown. So Michael has everything. Kind of the world is his oyster to an extent down in Tampa Bay. But guys, what were y'all's first thoughts when you heard Michael was headed to Tampa? And is there really anywhere else you would have wanted to see him land?
Tampa's kind of a good fit. It wasn't one of the reported teams that on his top 30 visit. It was more like Raiders, Jets, and Broncos. But thinking him in that system, kind of playing like Baker a little bit, I could see him thriving as he'll try to fight his way through minicamp with a couple other guys, and then see if he can get a contract for training camp. But
yeah, Mike.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's got the opportunity to make the I don't know, it'd be a third string, second string. Just given their quarterback
third string
right
is
now.
The goal. Second would be hype. Second,
he's got to play his way into it, but he's got a chance to play his way into it. So, like you said, saying the other guys he's competing with in training camp are scrubs. So,
Kyle Trask is not good.
I don't think he'll be competing too much with Kyle Trask, but I agree. He's in a gimmicky offense at Florida. Should not have been a Heisman favorite or finalist.
It's laughable it's laughable. But yeah, he won't be playing against Trask yet. But assuming that he can survive camp or rookie mini camp and make it and continue on to the preseason, that would be interesting to watch. We'll certainly keep an eye on it. Look, as we learned from Kelvin, it's like a wash machine over there. Constantly tossing guys in and out. Wouldn't be shocked if he goes to another camp or two. But we'll see. Maybe Tampa's a fit. Let's go to RJ. So Jeb loved RJ coming into the preseason. Grant, he was the Penn transfer, right? He was one of the Penn transfers, right?
Correct. Yep.
We enjoyed watching RJ. I was a little surprised that he was one of the guys signed. I'm not going to lie. I didn't really see him. It did not. We'll get to Ismail. It did not surprise me that he got signed. But it did kind of surprise me here. Grant, Mike, what'd y'all think when y'all saw RJ got 2 minicamp deals? Packers and Raiders, or Patriots and Packers.
He maybe didn't get a lot of run at Samford. He only caught. Let's see, pulling it up. 27. He had 27 receptions for 200 yards. But if you go back to his Penn numbers, he put up 1,500 yards, 14 TDs. So it's second team All Ivy after leading Penn in catches in 2022. So he does have that ability. So it is kind of cool to see him getting a shot, even though he probably didn't have the year that he wanted transferring to Samford.
I mean, not to his fault, but the wide receiver room was stacked.
Yeah.
Mike, what'd you think?
Yeah, he was just a casual, 800 yards short of Jeb's preseason projection of hitting 1,000 on the season. But definitely a little bit of a disappointment last year. But like you said, Sam, I mean, Samford's got all those receivers in the world. So
deep
last year was nuts.
Even with a guy like Hiers slinging it, it's tough to get, even to 1,000 yards with Samford's wide receiver room. But he's an athlete like we saw at Penn. So awesome that he got a chance.
Yeah, no, he is certainly an athlete. But let's get to the next guy, who I think is a very intriguing signee for the Ravens. Kadir Ismail, kind of a big body red zone target that we utilized a lot in that space. He's so tall and long. I mean, he's got all the tools. He doesn't have the top end speed. His route running isn't necessarily crisp. But if you're just looking for another tool in the toolbox, inside the 20, roll this kid out there. I mean, dude can jump, right? He's a fun one to watch. What did y'all think when y'all saw that he got a chance?
It was cool seeing his name, and I didn't know this either, but his dad played 10 years in the NFL, spending 3 years in Baltimore, and then his uncle played in the NFL as well. So it's kind of cool. His dad won a Super Bowl, and Baltimore. Now he's getting a chance to go shine at their camp, which is pretty awesome for him.
Yeah, he has good genes. Yeah. No kidding.
It makes me wonder what I can't remember which former receiver it was that we were talking to that said, relationships are everything when you're trying to get invites to minicamp. Was it Kelvin?
Yep.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what kind of connections he's not to undermine his talent, because like you said, Sam, huge red zone target. Would be awesome if he could show up and just show what he's got, but cool that he's got connections that maybe help him got there.
For sure, definitely had some connections, but I mean he's raw, right? And Absolutely. He's not young, so it's hard to say if he'll actually break through to the roster, but it's still going to be fun to watch nonetheless. In other news, football added Corey Warren. Now, there's a caveat here. We were joking around, I don't know, a few weeks ago about kids on their third school. Well, this is Corey's third school. He's a guy from Hoover, played at Hoover High, committed to Coastal Carolina right out of college or high school. Was only there, redshirted 1 year, and then played 1 year. Then transferred to Georgia State, where he only played 1 season. Now, the caveat is he was an honor roll student at every school he was at. So not necessarily a troubled kid. So that's nice, right? We're not just getting some washed up guy who maybe couldn't make grades or something from some of these other schools. But what's odd is his production. It seems like we're getting a guy who just wasn't able to produce at the level he needed to maintain a scholarship. Just being blunt, that's what it looks like. He's a little undersized for big-time D1. He's 6 foot, 257, was recruited as a linebacker / D-end, was listed as a D-end at Coastal. We showed it on the graph. Samford showed on the graphic as defensive tackle, but I would be surprised if he really is 6 foot, 257. I would be surprised if he played D tackle for us. Probably end. He would fit great in our kind of 3-4 scheme as a defensive end in our defense, but we'll see. What did y'all have any reaction when y'all saw this? The kid's athletic, right? He's a 3-star recruit out of high school, top one, or 57 or 53rd player in the state of Alabama. Had other D1 offers, so there's some talent here.
Yeah, like you said, maybe the production's not there, but you on a position like the D-line, you'll in all depth you can get right. Maybe a guy shines, and this is going to be the 4th transfer on the D-line this last 2 portal cycles that Samford's getting. So you can see they want to add depth here. So who knows? Maybe he'll shine out and show what he's capable of, and see if Samford keeps looking at this spot for more portal help in the spring window.
Oh yeah, we need as many as we can get, as you said, Grant. This is the key to winning football is the lines. Mike?
Yeah, maybe moving down to the FCS and moving back home close to Hoover is all he needs, You never know in college. These guys are so young, so impressionable. I imagine the coaching staff saw something they love about this guy and think that they can transform him into maybe the prospect that he thought he was out of high school. So,
I'm kind of excited, right? But you got to hedge.
That's what makes the portal era so exciting is you just never know. I love to look at guys' high school ratings to see, even if they're a 5th-year senior and they haven't produced in 4 years in college. They're a 4-star, 5-star. I'm excited about them.
It's always so funny reading the Twitters of where the kid came from and where the kid's going. Where he came from, he wasn't any good. We don't need him. And then where he's going, he's going to be amazing. He's going to be all SEC. This is so great. It's all right.
I would say from a basketball perspective, this last season we had one of each last year. We had a 4-star out of high school that we thought was going to be great, didn't produce. We had a 4-star out of high school that wasn't really that great in his prior 2 schools, but then it ended up being one of my all-time favorite players in Rylan Jones. So you can't trust it until they get there. They get in the system.
Yeah. No, 100%. And your point about getting close to home and then obviously dropping out of the FCS, going to be a lot easier to play in the SoCon than it was in the Sun Belt. And what conference is Georgia State in? The Sun Belt too?
That sounds right. Yep. Yep.
Okay, we'll just roll with that. Maybe the American, maybe Conference USA, one of those three.
Well, this summer we need to recalibrate and make sure who's in each conference, right? With everybody moving in the P5 and down lower levels, we got to work on that. That's a summer project for us to
that
get.
Is not going to be a fun one.
But yeah.
Why is that a State of the Bulldogs project? Let's just let somebody else do that.
Sometimes you got to take matters into your hands, and I give it back.
Okay. You do that.
No, what we do, what we do need to come up with a fun week where.
Fine, I'll do it. Yeah,
we do our own super conference relegation promotion. I
like that
format.
Yeah.
And we kind of peg where the FCS might land because it could shed some weight. But yeah, that would be a fun topic to delve into. But let's get to softball. So softball earned the spotlight this week with their big top 25 victory, boys, over Mississippi State. Let me just say that again. Softball got a top 25 victory over an SEC team in Mississippi State. Stunning, to say the least. Jordan and Mac, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, just combined for an absolute stellar performance. And then freshman Olivia Shaw, Freshman Olivia Shaw had all 3 RBIs, 2-run homer, and then the game-winning double. She had made it to third, but double to bring in the winning run. We have that clip. There's no commentary, unfortunately, but there's a lot of fan noise. And head to YouTube or just back to Twitter if you want to see the clip if you're listening to the podcast. But here's the Samford walk-off over Mississippi State. I mean, awesome, right? Like, it cannot be stressed how low this team was and how far they've come. It's honestly dumb at this point. It's like, how did this happen? Right? I mean, some of the games we were losing at the beginning of the season, you're like, all right, maybe we should just, I don't know, scrap the softballs. Just punt to next. But then here we are in the thick of the SoCon race, beating top 25 Mississippi State. I mean, hand the mic over to the boys.
Stan, you're so dramatic.
Yeah. We're going to cancel the program if they kept losing.
Cancel the program. Cancel the golf team.
You could. Okay, we do need to we'll go back to that summer project.
The golf team. Golf team is a real discussion there.
Yeah. What to do with all the money the golf team would save us.
But you mentioned, yeah.
Go on the golf thing, I got an NIL offer from our friend John Christ.
Okay, good.
So we're going to work on that.
Good.
For women's golf. He's willing to sponsor us for an NIL deal.
Okay.
All right.
More to come.
More to come.
We'll talk about it offline.
Maybe we'll pump golf up now. But, let's go back to softball.
I guess we got a weekly spot.
Money talks, people.
Weekly spot for women's golf. Let's go.
Yeah.
Sponsored by John Christ Comedy.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but you mentioned Olivia Shaw already. Hitting a freshman hitting in the 3-hole. She's hitting 377, 2 homers, 3 doubles, bringing in all the runs in that Miss State game. So like her hitting the middle of the order, and she's really stepped up. Because she's only played in 21 games, so she might have not found her footing, but she's definitely found it here, swinging the bat extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, freshman beast. Yeah. We got to keep her. But we ended up losing the weekend series to Western. Probably not one we should have lost. Western was at the bottom of the conference, still third to last. So that wasn't awesome. We got Mercer coming up next. They're 10-8. We're tied with them right now in the SoCon. So as far as the SoCon standings go, UTC is still ahead. They were winning last week. It's kind of a 2-horse race. We got UTC at 13-5, UNCG at 12-6. Then Mercer and Samford tied at 10-8. That's our last series, like I'd said, to end the season. So not a great chance to finish anything higher than second, but certainly fighting for that 3 spot. Wofford's at 9-9, Western 7-11, Furman 6-12, and ETSU bringing up the rear at 5-13. Grant, throwing it back to you you said you had a video of the softball team after that win.
Yeah, I did have one video. I don't know if the audio will play, but we can watch it on YouTube, and then I'll retweet it on Wednesday too. But Ariel Schaefer from CBS 42, I really appreciate her tagging me in Samford stuff she posts. Anyway, she posted a video of the Samford softball team signing autographs for what I assume is like the Homewood, like a girls softball, and there's like a cool interaction between all of them. So it's kind of cool to watch.
Oh yeah, that is cool. Yeah. This video, there was a story. I think there was like several youth softball teams or maybe school softball teams at the game. And did you know how many schools there were?
I don't. I just know I saw some girls wearing Homewood stuff, so I just assumed this was Homewood girls here. But
yeah, no, they said I don't know, maybe a few schools, but yeah, all the girls were pumped. I mean, what a crazy! I should have looked this up, but I mean, this has got to be one of the limited top 25 victories Samford softball's ever had.
Yeah, and I tweeted it out, but you can kind of hear like the girls talking. You could hear one girl like say to her mom up talking about the Sharpie. Mom, they're passing it around. I'll get it. It's okay. It's like she was trying to make sure that her kid got an autograph. She's like, it's okay, Mom. They're passing it around. So that was just a cool little moment to hear, and I'll retweet the video when this drops on Wednesday. But yeah, shout out to Ariel with that video.
That's awesome.
I think wasn't one of the moms like telling their daughter to like settle down, like back off, give the girl space?
Yeah, I'm sure there was a little bit of that too. Yeah,
they'll get awesome. You. Calm down. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. Mom, they're passing it around. It's okay.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's why you do it for them.
Yep. That's right. It's for the kids.
Yep.
All right, let's get to baseball. Baseball got crushed by Alabama. The Tide rolled.
It started so good, though.
Started so good. And then the 11-run inning, as a classic Samford baseball goes, just giving up some real dingers of those middle innings. Just not good. But
hey, we were up 4-0, and Blake texted me as it was happening. He was like, "I should have texted you, ask if you wanted to go to Tuscaloosa or not." It's like, "Oh yeah, we should have gone." Literally an inning later, Bama puts up an 11 spot in the fourth. It's like, oh okay, maybe we made the best choice. But
look, I'm just happy that the 11.7 guys kept us in their mid-major top 25. Came in at 21 this week. I thought we might get booted for the loss to Bama and not sweeping Liberty, but
tournament
we got
team,
the Liberty win 2-1. We lost the Friday game, which is rare to see, especially considering Ross pitched well, but only pitched 4 innings. He gave up 6 hits, 1 run, 4 Ks. I'm guessing here that it was just load management. Non-conference series has no bearing whatsoever on the season. SoCon is a 1-bid league. So he pitches every 7 days. He had pitched 7 innings the week before, complete game the week before that. So just watching his arm, but he was still great. But still, just not fun to watch. Fun to lose that. So much pressure on the team Saturday, Sunday to win the series, but we had no problem, especially come Sunday. I think we had 12 runs, totally cruised. But Liberty was a little scary, guys. A little scary. Shaking your head, Mike.
I don't know, but from what I watched, Liberty did not have good fielding. So many errors.
They suck. No, they suck.
So many errors.
No doubt about it. Liberty is bad.
Which they just seem like one of those schools that would, like, for some reason, randomly have a really great baseball program.
They could. They have all the money in the world.
Right. Why not?
But I guess just not yet. Football's getting there.
Yeah, football's got it.
Got poached. Yeah. Basketball's getting there. I'm sure all the ancillary sports are there.
Yeah, and they're in a new conference too. They're in the Conference USA. So who knows?
But, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. I would not have expected. I would have pegged them for bribing their way into the American. That's a lowly conference for a wannabe power school, but I'd love to see it. Cannot stand Liberty.
Yeah. Well, SMU did it for the ACC. It's like, we don't need any TV shares. We got our own money, so maybe they'll get to that point.
That's stooping low
and keep moving up
where the SEC is. It's like leasing to the last Blockbuster.
What?
It's incredible.
If you own the commercial strip, it's like leasing to the last Blockbuster. It's like,
Gotcha.
all right, you're
I'm gonna
basically
write that-
just renting
I'm gonna write
greatness.
that down. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that last Blockbuster is a standalone building, Sam.
I would love to go to that one. I see it
That'd be
all the
cool.
time. It's famous now, right?
Out in
Oregon
Portland or whatever.
Or
Yeah.
Somewhere in Oregon. Yeah.
Can't you just smell the Blockbuster right now?
Oh,
like you just
gosh.
walk in, you just smell it.
It smells so good, but so bad.
I just would get nervous when the new releases came, because remember, kind of near the end, they got really expensive to rent, and it would always be like, "All right, Mom, are we going to rent the new release, or are we going to go not?" Or the Blu-rays. The Blu-rays were expensive. No, dude, they were crazy. They were like 50. You might as well have bought. Sometimes you might as well have just bought the movie. Anyway, we got North Alabama in the midweek. We actually have them next week too. So a fun little 2-game-ish series. We should roll. But we got Mercer up next. Mercer, the perennial underachiever in the conference, always has all the talent in the world. They actually have a baseball culture, right? Campus could be a baseball school, but they just can never seem to put it together. The injury bug has bit the rotation hard this season. So next year, the hype train will begin again, and Mercer will be propped up to win the conference. But they are second to last, guys. They're 4-7, and so it's laughable. But they still have a top 100 RPI. Go figure. But just running down the standings, Samford 10-2, UNCG 10-5, ETSU 9-6, who's having a fantastic season, 52 RPI, highest in the conference. Go Bucs. Wofford at 8-6, Western Carolina 8-7, VMI 6-9, Mercer's 4-7, and then the Citadel 1-14 in conference. Our RPI sitting at 83, still just not getting the respect by the computers that we probably deserve. I don't know why ETSU is 52. That seems odd.
I'm trying to find their strength of schedule now that you mentioned that. But
I mean, they beat Purdue in a 3-game series. We tied them in a 4-game series, but we beat ETSU 2-1. So,
they have an 80.
Maybe we have a few bad losses.
Yeah, according to Warren, they have an 82 strength of schedule. So I don't know where
that's better than
comes
ours.
from, but yeah,
that's
yeah.
I don't know where that's coming from though.
Yeah, ours is in 124 right now.
Because it's UNCG that had the big win over Wake, and then there's another big win, maybe by UNCG or Western, but
it was Mercer who beat Florida State too.
Mercer beat Florida State, right? So the SoCon's according to Warren Nolan, 8th best conference in the country, which is wild. Love to see that. But all right, boys, let's get to people's questions. We had several of them. We'll start with Mark Donham's. Actually, we'll start with Emory Williams because this one's already been answered. Has Michael Hiers signed? Emory, yes. He signed with the Bucs. And let's get to Gil Simmons. Gil Simmons' question, why is family weekend not on a football game weekend? We can't figure this out. But Mike Grant, let's hear it. What's our best explanation if we have one? Because
some intern messed up.
Yeah. Someone's gonna get fired. Does Samford fire people?
Probably not for this, but I'm sure they have before. I don't know. Of course, Sam taking it another level, right? They're gonna fire somebody.
They're about to.
How do you mess this up?
I can't
I don't know how that works actually. Yeah.
I didn't realize when I saw this question that it was a first time thing. Like I was thinking maybe this has been the last couple of years, but that was the best part about Families Weekend was going down to the tailgate and like all your friends are there, especially as a freshman. All your family can meet all your like new friends and everything. Yeah.
It's weird. Decision. Like, what are you going to do on Saturday?
Yeah. What do you do?
Do you have a tailgate on an off week? I mean, that's hardcore party culture right there. I don't think we can do that at Samford.
That's pretty on brand. Just a random tailgate.
Like the midday tailgate.
If there's somebody listening that would know like how this went down, please reach out to us because we don't know like what disconnect could there be? What disconnect could there be between the league office and the schools? So I don't know. We're gonna wait until the schedule comes out, or we get the schedule, and then hey, we're gonna schedule family weekend for this weekend, or is it the other way where it's already booked and then the schedule comes in? You would think you would wait to get the schedule from the conference and then schedule your events, obviously, because you got homecoming, senior day, all that stuff. So, not really sure how that works.
We can't be too smart, Grant. You know, it is Sam not Stan. Remember, it's Sam not Stan. Remember that.
Surely nobody's booked a flight, right? Like, let's say you're from California and your daughter's going to Samford. Like, you haven't booked a flight yet.
I have.
So they could change it.
They better change it.
Like you mentioned California, maybe we should ask Daniel Jeremiah, the NFL draft analyst, whose daughter's coming to Samford as a freshman, to see if he's booked a flight for family weekend yet.
I mean, we just need to move it 1 week back. September 14th, Alabama State. That's all.
Is that opening game?
No. It's first home game. Yeah.
First home game.
Yeah.
Oh, we go to Westwood. Man, that's a charity trip right there. Hope we're getting for that one.
No Thursday game, no Thursday night game, and no family weekend game. Super odd.
That's wild.
Terrible.
I don't know how that works.
Sorry, man, I didn't show your question, but just so everybody can see it. There you go, man. Supporter of the pod. We love you. All right, let's get to this question. This was a very fun question, I thought. So Mark Donham, former Samford baseball player, asked, who will replace Martin Newton when he retires? I got a few names, but I wanted to hear if anyone – I had to do some digging. It wasn't like just some names came to mind because that would be – I'm not that crazy.
Yeah.
But did y'all have any answers for this one?
Is Oliver Luck who gets all these like jobs on your list? No. Andrew Luckstead somehow just keeps getting all these different jobs in college athletics now. I'm trying to think who would it be, but
I'm a deer in the headlights, but I say national search. It's not in-house.
National search, yeah.
National search. That's, I mean, just given the rise of Samford athletics under Newton, I think you got to take it to the next level. Unless he's got a protege that I don't know of.
Yeah.
Sure. No, and maybe he does.
Yeah.
Maybe you definitely have to capitalize on the momentum. That's for sure.
Yeah. Maybe you look to like Purdue, see what kind of connections Beck Taylor has at Purdue for people who would who aren't obviously the main AD who work under him and maybe want to take a job in the next 3 to 5 years whenever Martin retires. But
yeah, I was looking for Beck Taylor connections. That was a little hard. Didn't really find any. So you kind of think of it, the way I thought about it was, if you're going to Samford, if you're taking that Samford AD gig, you're either an alum or you are looking at Samford as a stepping stone. So maybe you're a young guy at a Power 5 team right now or a young woman at a Power 5 team. And so you got to, show your stuff at Samford, and then you get hired as an AD at a bigger program. Or just an internal promotion. Those are kind of the three categories that I was working off of. So here were the names I came up with. So internally, the two easiest names, potentially three, Corey Green. So it's his first year, but he is a Samford alum, and he's one of the money guys. He's in charge of all the corporate sponsorships, the marketing, stuff like that. And he's a former VP at Regions. Then you got EJ Brophy. So he ran the Hoover Met. He did not go to Samford, but he did play at UAB, so he's a Birmingham local. And he kind of brings that sports admin expertise, very experienced in that role. And then I put maybe Doug Kovash, who is currently the director of development, again, a fundraiser. He came from the nonprofit space, but has a background coaching in college. And cool, this was a cool little stat, was a baseball scout for the San Diego Padres. To basically every fan out there, baseball fan out there, that's like a dream job. So that was cool. Externally, this was harder. You could go down a lot of rabbit holes. But I found a guy at Auburn, Rhett Hobart. He is just got promoted to AD of External Affairs, so again, a money guy. He's on the younger side, could definitely view Samford as a stepping stone. And then the one I was most excited about someone who could be a game changer, who could keep propelling Samford forward. Robin Felton, current COO of Knight Edie. So
she's great, yeah.
Samford, and then has just oozes business development experience. She was the one I got most excited about as I was looking for it. Just as somebody who could have a totally different perspective on how to push Samford forward, which is kind of what you gain with that outsider, kind of like Martin was from Kentucky.
Jimbo Fisher not on your list?
Yeah. We can dream, but we also don't want what there was an example like him.
Tuberville when he's out of the Senate.
We don't want someone sitting on their laurels. We need a grinder,
Sam, that's quite a list. I think Beck Taylor needs to just hire you.
Yeah, I am the search committee.
You are the search committee.
Let's do it.
He's done his work for you.
The power of the internet.
We would be a lot cheaper than another search committee trying to go find
I haven't said my price, Grant, but if he listens to the podcast, I guess it is free.
Yeah.
Last question. This is coming from Big Mike. Is it panic time for Buckyball? I love this, guys. Is it panic time? We've signed one guy in the portal, Tulane. Is the buzz gone?
No, but one thing on the Martin front, he signed a new deal that goes through 2027. So we'll worry about that in
cool
4 years. But no, I think we'll. I told you before we started recording, it's the perfect sports arena. Coming up next, Samford only has one. Samford only has one commit. It's the time for Buckyball to panic.
I wish I had an alarm button.
It's the podcast equivalent of clickbait.
Yeah.
No, it's not panic time because we've got a great core returning with a stud transfer from Tulane. So I think anything else is just icing on the cake at this point. I think towards last year at this time, Ryland Jones probably committed around this time last year, right?
He committed the second week of May, so we didn't know till mid-May.
Yes, and Zach Loveday as well was a little bit. He was a late addition, so I think we're right on track for where we were last year. I think we had already had probably Graziani and Garrett Hicks was maybe the first guy that we got in the portal. So, given the guys that we've got returning, especially the freshman talent, I think we're fine.
Okay.
This would be a great social clip, by the way. Just talking out loud if we want to put something out.
Grant, is it panic time?
No, it's not panic time. No, we're still. If you go around the country, there's a lot of even in this conference, really, there's a lot of teams that are still looking to add. Western Carolina's got to restock all their guys.
Furman's reeling them in now.
Furman, doing all the work early. Trey Bonham's come back for chat, we haven't talked about what we're going to bring up, and so they got Huff
Trey
and Bonham back.
Trey Bonham returned. So let me get this straight. The best point guard in the entire world hit the transfer portal.
Second best, yeah.
Tested his value on the free market and had to crawl back to the Mocs. He's so good, though. He's so good. Scrub.
Sam, no chill, man. No chill.
Look.
I know that's a social clip right there.
Yeah, we're haters. We're haters.
We don't need his dad coming after us like you did that.
But we want the controversy. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Jack Gold, we're losing credibility for expressing an opinion. All right.
One thing, going back to our original discussion before we get off topic, the portal closes May 1st. And so that's when players can enter the portal. And then after May 1st, compliance offices and schools have 48 hours to have the player's name in the portal. So by Friday afternoon, we'll know exactly who's on. For the time being, everybody's roster and not leaving. So that's one thing to watch out for this week.
Gotcha.
So May 1st, portal closes.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the second date, Grant?
Probably I want to say it's 48 hours that the compliance office has to put a player's name in the portal. So sometime Friday, we'll know exactly who's on the guys' rosters and how many open spots everybody has. So
it's interesting.
So that at least gets eliminated. We don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so nobody else can enter the portal.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we know, but you could still be in the portal and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still commit after this period. You just can't enter it.
Yeah, your name has to be in by May 1st.
So we know at a worst how many. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, how many guys we lost.
Yeah. I imagine. I mean, today was a heavy day for commits. I mean, this week in general, like as a Tennessee fan, our two big men committed elsewhere. Furman got a couple guys. AJ, we'll talk about him in a sec. So,
yeah. Well, let's get to that. State of the Bulldogs. Obviously, tennis, golf, all that jazz is done. But we have a few updates as far as basketball portal for men's and women's. Start with men's. We did not land Brennan Rigsby. We talked about him as a potential guy we might get last week, but he didn't even get to the visit before he committed. Grant, where did he go again?
Committed to Minnesota. Oh, he's going to go play in the Big Ten. Yeah.
Go Gophers. And then our boy AJ going to FAU, going to be an Owl. Going to look really cool in those uniforms. So good for him for actually going up a level, so to speak, in basketball. You don't love it when the dudes you love enter the portal and honestly don't find a home and get knocked down, or worse, don't even sign anywhere. So always great to see when one of the guys goes up. So good for him.
I'm just going to say real quick, I think this is the obvious, but there are times when a player leaves your team and enters the portal and you hate him for it. He who will not be named right now. But there are guys like AJ, when they enter the portal, given what he's done for Samford and the journey that he's been through at Samford, you cannot not be excited for the guy. So
right.
Props to him. We're so excited for you, AJ. I know he actually looked at FAU out of high school when he was going on their recruiting visits during COVID. So I'm glad it's finally worked out for him and can't wait to watch you next season.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I was thinking maybe he goes back home to North Carolina, but I guess if the new home is Florida, it makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, what a fun basketball brand. So he'll fit right in. And just like I said, those uniforms, they got some of the coolest in college basketball. So that's always sweet. Grant, talk to us about women's basketball.
Women's. The women picked up a freshman over the weekend from Israel. Actually, she's coming over from Israel. Yael Mayan, a 6'1" forward, was a former Western Carolina commit, but is now coming to Samford. So that puts Samford after the addition of Kylie Lewandowski from Richmond. They now have 3 open scholarship spots to use. So she'll be coming in the freshman class. That includes Claire Johnson from Paducah, Kentucky, who's a baller and has been was balling out in the state semifinals. I want to say they won state. I need to go back and check, but again, she had like 38 points or something like that.
I'm sure they did. She's the next Caitlin Clark, right, guys?
There you go. The next Steph Curry of women's basketball.
The Caitlin Clark of Birmingham.
Yeah. Good luck, Claire. Yeah.
No pressure.
The hype is real.
Yeah.
But no, guys, anything else before we wrap it up? We covered all kinds of stuff this week. So anything you want to circle back to?
There's some chatter on Twitter or on X about whether or not VMI is the hardest D1 basketball program to coach.
I
did y'all see that?
Yeah, I would say it's up there.
Yeah.
No comment.
I mean, how do you recruit kids to prison? Right? I mean, it's kind of tough.
Oh, gosh.
I mean,
Dan Earl seemed to do a good job there. So
yeah, I don't know how he did it.
Dan Earl might be the next Will Wade. We don't know how he got those kids to be alive, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's a little extra something.
And you wonder why Trey Bonham went to chat. Yeah.
And they're all following the chat too. So
where there's smoke, there's fire.
You wonder why Trey Bonham went back to chat, Sam. Maybe it's just for the love of the game.
No. It's honestly shocking that he went back. I thought he was for sure going to land at some lower level power. I mean, the guy is really good. So yeah. I was very surprised. Something, who knows? Could be grades. It could be interview. It could be anything. But obviously, that was not the preferred choice. If that was the preferred choice, he's not entering the portal. Let's not kid ourselves, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, go ahead, Grant.
No, I was going to say, speaking of the guy you didn't want to mention, he's back in the portal as well.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah.
Fifth time.
So I guess did he get a red shirt because he was injured this season?
I'm sure he's going to apply for one. I'm sure he should get it. Yeah, obviously he didn't play any games, so.
I just wonder on the back end when you enter the portal, you're getting recruited, right? But how much are you getting recruited from your former team in terms of them coming back to you with stronger NIL offers?
Yeah,
I hear that.
Basically, especially in the P5 level, you throw your name out there and basically just seeing what offers you can get to come back or move on. So basically, guys may not want to leave, but it's like, hey, I'll put my name in and see what kind of leverage I can get back from my current school. So
I don't even know though if you have to put your school's tampered. So I don't even know by putting your name in if you're really even testing the market, right? To me, like this year, especially considering how much tampering's happened, if you go in the portal, you're leaving. Like it's shocking to not see a guy go into the portal and then a week later commit somewhere. But here we are. Maybe look, we'll give Bonham the benefit of the doubt. He's a SoCon guy, but we don't have to like him, and we hate UTC. So hopefully he sucks.
Then who knows if it's like credits transfer, because that would be his third school he'd be on. So
I mean, probably not. My sister did or is about to graduate with another degree from UTC, and I give her crap all the time that maybe it's not real.
Another degree from UTC?
Another degree?
Well, she got her undergrad at Wheaton.
And then, pottery, right?
And fine arts, and then had to go with a emphasis, or no, with a
Sam, you said it was a pottery
no, it's fine
degree.
arts. No, it is. It was fine arts with like an emphasis in ceramics, which is pottery.
Gotcha. Okay.
Whatever you call it, I don't know.
But Sam, so
she's going back for a bio degree at UTC.
So you went to Samford.
She's the smart one.
Your brother went to Wofford.
Yeah, he's the dumb one.
And your sister's getting degrees at Chat. What is going on in this family?
So comfort life.
Poor little Riley. Riley's just going to have to transfer home and go somewhere.
That's right. That's right.
Go to VMI, right?
Think of that is the opposite of TCU's VMI. That is spot on right there.
Yeah. Love to wake up at 5:30 and go run around or whatever you do in the morning for whatever.
Riley's used to going to bed at 5:30, not waking up.
Exactly. Exactly. Or making a 5:30 beer run to keep the night going. Like that's not the vibe at VMI.
Legend.
But anyway, y'all heard way too much about my family. We'll catch y'all next week. Softball wraps it up with Mercer, and baseball. We still got a few more conference series to go, so that season's not as close to ending. But we will catch everybody next week. State of the Bulldogs is out.